Welcome to the Nurse Boss Shift. It's the girl, Dr. Kiana Jones.
And I'm Crystal P, the hormone NP.
Hey, y'all. Did y'all miss us? We have been full steam ahead.
Yes.
Weekly episodes. If you guys haven't caught up yet, make sure you listen to our previous episodes. So this week, we are going to tackle a topic that I believe a lot of new, even aspiring entrepreneurs cringe when they think about, and that is marketing.
Dun, dun, dun.
Exactly. And I think the reason why we cringe about marketing when we think about it is because we just don't know.
Yep.
So, Crystal, today we're going to tackle marketing and give some tips. So you may be thinking to yourself, I don't have a business yet, or I'm just starting my business, so why should I think about marketing? But we are here to tell you that should definitely be at the top of mind. So before we dive in, Chris, I want to start with the number one reason why businesses fail is due to poor cash flow. That affects 82% of small businesses, you guys. Ooh. Yeah. And so what that means is that if you don't have money coming in, that means you don't have sales coming in, and sales are directly tied to your ability to market your product to the right people who have the problem that you have the solution for.
Yes.
They always say that it's not the best businesses that wins the game. It's the ones that market the best. And so today we're going to go ahead and tackle that. Chris, I want to share from our own perspectives of, what we have encountered from marketing. But before we get into that, what was your definition? Did you even think about marketing when you first started? And what did you think you needed to do to market your business as a new business owner?
So no, I absolutely thought if I built it, they would come. I know enough people in my family and my mom's friends who will support my business. So that was probably exactly what I was thinking when it came to the IV hydration. When it came to the products business that I first had, my marketing thought was to go out and marketed at nursing conferences, because here's one of my candles here. But I created a lotion as well, self-care products for nurses. So I was like, I'm going to go out to different nursing conferences and go meet nurses and just, tell them about these amazing products. And that's how I would sell it. But then COVID happened shortly after. I remember I just looked at the receipt. I had got my shipment October of 2019. Mind you, I had a baby December of 2019. So by the time I was, out of the postpartum thing and everything, COVID had happened. So when that shut down my idea of marketing, and this is, a gym, when I had to pivot, I didn't know how to do that at the time. So that's why that business failed, because everything was online, because we were all locked in the house. And I was just deathly afraid of, going on live and selling my products that way. I was more comfortable face to face, but that was the idea for marketing there. And when it didn't happen, then as you said, sales weren't coming in. So what then inevitably happens after that? But I just also want to make a shameless marketing plug that this is the first thing that we teach in our IV hydration class is marketing, because we feel like a lot of people, such as myself, aren't thinking about marketing as being one of the first things that they should. And listening to this episode, you'll see why.
Yeah. I think most of us, especially those who begin our businesses without a mentor or a coach, we do have that if we build it, they will come mindset. And not only that, it's easier. It's fun. It's like what we love to do, especially those of us who are nurses and nurse practitioners. We love to learn. We love to do different things, right? So it's like we're kind of birthing our baby, but we're not realizing how important it is to get people to actually buy. And then you may mention of family and friends, and they might not be in our market, and they may not, and we want to force them because it's like, oh, nobody supports me. Nobody shares my stuff on social. Right. Nobody has to. If you really want to be a true, legit business, then you need to know how to get strangers to buy. And the truth of the matter is, they'll support you before a lot of your friends and family.
Absolutely.
Sorry to tell you. So marketing is a business practice that involves creating, communicating, and delivering products or services to customers. And what I will say, when we say we begin with marketing, you have to understand the difference between actually actively marketing and then marketing research, which is totally different. So when you are starting a business, you have to research your market. So when I work with my VIP clients, before we can, they come in and they're like, let's build the business. And I'm like, hold up. Like, it's almost like building a house without a solid
Mhm.
foundation to
Mhm.
me. And so if you don't have your business plan, then you haven't taken the time to market, and or you haven't taken time to market your services and products to see who your audience is, what they like, what their biggest pain points. Then you are literally building a business on quicksand. Like, you're building a house on quicksand,
Absolutely.
for real. And what will happen is you will have built this beautiful thing that's beautiful to you, that solves what you assume as the problems of the marketplace, only to find out that's not even their problem. Like,
Right.
they need what you have, but you've positioned it in the wrong way.
Right.
Right. And so that reminds me, Crystal. So when you I want to dive into a little bit about, because you said something about your first business when it failed. And I still don't look at it as a failure. You know
No,
that it's not a
not at
failure,
all.
right? It's just a step in stone, a stepping
Mhm.
stone, like a step in the right direction,
Absolutely.
and all the things that we have learned from it. So when you say, like, COVID hit, you didn't market, and all that, what did you how did you at all do any like type of market research, or did you, because you had a coach, you started with a coach with this, right?
Yes, I did, who was urging me to get on live and online, and she was urging me to do all the things that I didn't wanna do.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
so, yes, I was marketing on social, but just there's nothing that beats you getting on video and talking about your product.
Yeah.
So, I had the pictures in the campaign and I was trying to do those things. I just know so much now. So it definitely wasn't a failure because I was on those lives during COVID and learning as much as I could. So that's why I was able to use that in this business, and stop letting that
Mhm.
fear hold me back of like being on camera and things like that. But
Mhm.
um I forgot the question that you asked.
So I was asking you about your marketing,
Yes,
because
did I do
you
market
did
research?
hire a coach. Hmm.
So not how I know it today. I just figured that I
Yeah.
knew. I did, start, I guess, interviewing people who tried my lotion and picking up on the code words that they were saying to be able to relay that to my audience. So
Mhm.
I did do that, but not necessarily how I know market research today, and really getting into the psyche of like my buyer, because I feel like they were nurses and
Yes.
I knew them, because I was one.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
but definitely had to use that more in the health, in my wellness practice business, of getting into the minds of those buyers. So yeah.
Yeah. And what I find is that we market to we the way we market our products, our services, is, especially as new business owners, I know I definitely did this, is we kind of focus on the product and service itself and not the payoff. And so I learned that,
Yeah.
if you guys have ever heard of his name is Dan Kennedy. He is no longer with us, but they call him the like grandfather of marketing. And one of his books is called Magnetic Marketing.
Yes.
And I learned that you have to sell the payoff, like you
Yes.
sell the vacation. So, and the way to look at this, and he gives this example in his book, is he's like, think about going on a vacation. If you are a mom or just a regular person going on vacation, what is all required to go on that vacation? Like, you have to find the tickets, you have to find the hotels, you have to do some research on that. You have to pack up your luggage, you have to make sure, your house is going to be secured while you're gone. You have to, if you have dogs, if you have kids, you got to pack those up. Like, it's so many things. You got to get your passport if you're going international. You gotta, do you need insurance or not?
Right.
Like, there's so many things that are involved, that's busy work,
Yeah.
that we don't want to do when it comes to going on vacation. However, we don't think about that. We think about what? We think about sipping
Mhm,
pina
mhm.
coladas. We
On
think
the
about the warm
beach.
beach. We think about like having time to
Yeah.
relax and enjoy the weather and like not have to worry about all the stuff as at home. That's what we focus on, which is why we do all the work that it takes to get to that
Yeah.
destination. So when he says sell the payoff or the vacation, you should be focused on the vacation, and that's what you're selling to your market.
Mhm.
And the way you know that is by doing your market research to know what is it that they want. People don't want to go through the semantics that it takes to get to the vacation. So don't sell that, because now you're selling work.
Yeah.
And when people hear work, they're like, I don't want to do it.
Also too, to add to that, talking in the language that your market doesn't speak, especially for a lot of,
Mm,
and because we have IV hydration and wellness practices, a lot of our listeners, selling, anti-inflammatory properties. Like, no, your client might not know what that means. You have to
oh, that's
sell,
good.
you're selling this B12. Like, what does that mean? Versus your, selling the energy, or saying it in simplistic terms where, again, they will care about, they don't really care about the vitamins. They want to know what the vitamins do for them, or talking in medical jargon. I always laugh when I see, someone talking in all this medical jargon. I'm like, people don't know what that means. Even when we're teaching class, I have to
Baby, you
remind
gotta
Dr. Jones,
simplify
like, we're
that.
talking in all these
Yeah.
business terms. And really, I remember being that person. What do all these terms mean? We're going to do our
Yes. Yes.
episode
Mhm.
on that medical jargon, the business jargon, because it can get very confusing. So
Yeah.
just remember that you have to really put yourself in your potential clients or potential customers, where they are, and meet them there and speak their
Yeah.
language.
So there's something called a belief bridge. And with the belief bridge, it's all about meeting your customers where they are and
Mhm.
bringing them across this bridge. And so it's called a belief bridge because it's like, where are their beliefs about the particular product or service that you are offering? And then you go to them versus having them, you're over here in this vacation, since we're rolling with the
Yeah.
vacation analogy. Let's just use it. So you're sipping your pina colada and you're on the beach, you're enjoying life. Life is amazing. And they're over there in the thunderstorm. I always use that example. And you're over there raving and raising your hand. For those of you who are not on YouTube, you can't see me, but I'm literally just waving my hand. So you're over there like, hey, 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 I'm over here. Like, it's beautiful. Come over. The weather's great. Like, and they're over there just thugging it out in the storm. They're not likely to leave that place. You're going to have to leave your place, your vacation, come over there where they are and explain to them why, and help them go across the bridge, but explain to them why their beliefs are keeping them there. And it's not because they need your course, or it's not because they need your Botox or your IV hydration. What is the payoff? And the payoff can't be, we have to start when it comes to marketing, you guys, the most creative marketer is who get the bag, by the
Mhm.
way, which means you got to take some time on your marketing, think it through, right? So if you are selling, since you mentioned IV hydration, if we are selling a drip and all you're talking to them about is, oh, you're going to have great energy, and they're like, okay, but I don't have an energy problem, or at least they may not know they have an
Mhm.
energy
Yeah.
problem, right? Because they've been so used to, or let's use our hormones,
Mhm.
bioidentical
Yeah, that
hormones.
makes sense.
They have gradually gotten to this point. This is just a part of their life. This is just like, they're just like, okay, this is how it's going to be, until they actually get the treatment and then they start feeling better. They're like, dang, I was really bad off.
Mhm.
But you want to
Mhm. Mhm.
market what that payoff, that vacation is going to be for them. So does that mean what, based on their problem? Now, something like IV therapy can solve a lot of problems, right?
Yeah.
It can
Yeah.
solve a lot of problems. So I guess the question becomes, how do you decide, Crystal, which problem you're going to focus on? Because it
Yeah.
can solve a lot of problems.
Mhm. Well, I usually focus on the problems that I see coming in a lot. And that's when you do your market research, but you also let your clients kind of guide you in the direction that they want to go in, or if you have several clients asking about a certain product, then you may want to bring that product
Mhm.
on. So I think I decide on which things I want to focus on based on my market and what they tell me. So a lot will
Yeah.
come in, with perimenopause and menopause symptoms of declining hormones, and a lot of them at the same time are gaining weight or can't seem to lose weight like they used to. So that's where the weight loss comes in. So I'll speak to that. So I think I let them kind of tell me and guide me. All of them want energy. No, nobody has enough
Right.
energy. So that's a main one.
Right.
And then also too, not trying to focus on every single ailment that they may have. And with the recent decision of me really letting go of the aesthetics part, the Botox and fillers, it's not something that really brought me a lot of joy. So I don't have to offer it and also being okay with not offering that. So I think that's how do you based on, in your coaching space
Yeah.
and everything, what
Yeah.
pain points you're going to target?
So well, when I first started, of course I
Yeah,
didn't.
right.
I didn't know to do that. But now what I teach is three strategies primarily to do your market research. I teach the Google strategy, where I have them, and you guys write this down,
Yes. Free
if y'all
coaching
didn't
here.
download this video yet. Hello. I teach them to go on Google, and you guys know when you type in Google, because you're typing in search terms, so you have to think, what would your customer
Yes.
type in about your product or
Right.
service? So some might type in, is IV hydration effective? Does IV hydration work? That could be something that the market that I am focused on, they might type in. Does it give you energy? Whatever, right? And so type in something about in that variation in the Google search bar, and then hit enter. And then what you'll find is there's a tab that will say people also ask. And then it has little boxes that shares with you based on Google what people are also asking about that particular product or service. So that is the beginning of your market research. They're asking, is it safe? Like, do you have to go to the hospital to get it? Whatever it is that they're asking, it's going to come up. Those are questions you need to write down. This is a part of your market research. The third thing that I do is I have them go on YouTube and I have them type in the actual product. So it may be IV hydration, since we're talking about that. And then find the most popular videos, dive into their comments and see what questions people are asking. Now, if you know your market is corporate women who generate, 150,000 or more per year, then you see a comment from a male asking something about fertility in the comments. That's probably not a comment you want to put in your data bank, because it doesn't apply to your market, right? So it's really a strategy. And then the next thing I do is I have them go on. I have them use AI as well, but I have them go on this site called Answer the Public. And Answer the Public pretty much is a site that sifts through all the top search engines to find out what questions people are asking around a specific topic. So when it comes to IV hydration, you would type in IV hydration in the search, and then it'll give you all the questions people are asking. This is a way to do your market research as well. So this guy, his name is Patel, something Patel. And so he searches his platform does like Google, Bing, Safari, like what all these other big search engines that's not just Google, and finds synthesizes all the questions that people ask. And then they tell you this, like the frequency based on like this colored coding. So the darker the orange, the more this question is asked on the web. It's free. You don't have to give them your email address. You can search it one time a day. And I'm not, this is no affiliation, you guys. I'm just telling you guys what I teach my client. Yeah, we need to get them to go pay us. But anyway, and then, I have them do that. You can do it for free, one search a day, or you can do 3 searches per day if you give them your email address. So that's pretty much a lead magnet, you guys. And we talked about lead magnets before. So that's a lead magnet. So they're like, hey, give me your information. I'll let you search 3 times a day instead of 1 time a day. So these are 3 strategies that I teach, the popular ones that I teach around market research. And you guys, it takes work. Like, don't ever think that all it is going on social and creating some reels. Like, the people who are successful at this are doing their homework, and you have to do the same as well.
Yes. Yes.
So Crystal, all right, so let's really quickly before we wrap up, I want to dive into when we talk about marketing. Do you have to be the face of your market? Do you feel like you do? And then my second question of that is going to be, how do you just answer that question first, and then I'll because it's
So for
different. The
me
second one.
and my businesses, this business, yes, I feel like for the wellness clinic, I feel like I do. For the products business and the lotion, I feel like I didn't necessarily have to be, because it's very, it's marketed to nurses, so it would have been easy to get other nurses to speak for the product and just have the product be the
Yeah.
highlight, and then just
Yeah.
because I have all the great ideas now about how to market it, and I definitely will be in the future. Um,
Right.
but yeah, I could just easily just let that run with reviews and testimonials and things like that. For the wellness side, I feel like because of my personal journey in going through my own hormonal issues, and because of how this side of medicine isn't as popular, is getting more popular, but a lot of women are like, there's a lot of fear around hormone therapy and
Yeah.
also weight loss, hearing all the bad things that can happen with taking medication for weight loss. I feel that it's important to be able to be someone that my potential client can trust, telling my story.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's important for that business to be the face of it. But
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's a lot of other practitioners who just spend a lot of money in just marketing and just cookie cutter pictures, and then that brings people in because they're just honing in on the negative symptoms that women or men are going through during their hormonal imbalances. So you can do it both ways, but I just feel it's important for me to be the face of it, especially being a Black woman, and being able to connect with other Black women to let them know that this type of medicine is safe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How about
Mm-hmm.
you? Do you feel
Yeah,
uh,
I do.
your businesses?
I feel it's weird because I do feel like you have to have a personal brand. Like, if you want to be a there's a book. Yeah, I know I'm gonna bring up another book.
Mhm,
There's a book called Key Person of Influence by Daniel Priestley. And basically, he believes that every single business, especially in this day and age,
mhm.
now the Macy's of the
Yeah.
world and the McDonald's of the world, that's of the past. Now you have to have a personal brand if you want to have a business. People want to know who owns this
Mhm,
thing.
mhm,
Who are you? Does our core values align? Do I like you? Do I trust you? And so I feel like even if you're not the face of it,
mhm.
you still have to have your own personal brand and be accessible in the internet streets.
Yeah.
I do feel that way. And I feel like people, when you become more relatable, yes, people are looking for you to be an expert and share and show how you've helped other people solve that problem, right? So they do want, the credibility has to be there, but then they want to also make sure that they rock with you.
Mhm,
I
mhm,
really do feel
mhm.
like that.
Especially in our IV
And I
hydration
think,
business too. I was thinking about that.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And I think that a lot of times we think that because we don't like to do something, that we don't have to do it. We can just find a way. Like, how many times do we have people in our trainings, Crystal, that are like, I don't want to be on social. I don't want to do it. It's like,
Mhm, mhm.
listen, do you want to make money? Or
Right.
what are we doing? Like
Yeah.
that's let's grow up.
Yeah.
This is where you put your big girl, big guy
Mhm.
draws
Yeah.
on,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because you are saying you want to be a millionaire. What are we talking about? Like, if you really want to do this, I'm not saying just move it to the side. Work through it
Yeah.
though.
Work through it.
You got to work through it. Yes, people want to see you. Sorry. Yes. You're going to have to tell your business, like, to everyone who will
Mhm.
listen. And the more you talk about your business, the more comfortable you become with your own
Yeah.
messaging. And then people will give you feedback, questions people will ask, and that's how you get better and better and better. This is one of those industries where when I say industry, I really mean like fields. As an entrepreneur, this is one of those areas where you really have to kind of undo a lot of the things that we learned, and unlearn them, because now it's not about having protocols and policies in black and white. It's kind of, you're building it as you go.
Yeah.
And I know that's scary. It's scary for us
Yeah. You
too.
gotta start being comfortable being uncomfortable, and there's just no other way. Yeah.
Right. And if the number one reason people are failing in businesses, 83%, is because of cash flow. And we know cash flow is directly tied to our ability to market and sell, which we'll do sales in another episode, but our ability to market and sell. Why are we thinking twice about if we want to show our face? You got to decide which you want more of. Okay. Do you want to be rich? Do you want to have the wealth? Do you want to have the freedom? Or do you want to stay comfortable? Because they can't coexist. Sorry. I want to tell a story about my biggest marketing epic fail.
Yeah.
You know the story, Crystal. And the reason I'm sharing this, I've shared it publicly, but it still kind of hurts me.
We see. No, I'm just kidding.
I feel it, because it was a huge epic fail. And so I'll make this quick, you guys. We're about to wrap up this episode, but I do want to share with you because I think it can help a lot of people. So I lost $6,000 as a new entrepreneur who was bootstrapping her business. I was self-funding at the time. I did have my permanent makeup business already. So I had money coming in from that. I was doing decent with that, but I did not have an abundance of cash on hand. And I decided to invest in a marketing agency. It made sense. Let me tell you how it went. So I had applied for this Facebook. This was, I want to say 2020. I think this was early, it was COVID had happened, but the George Floyd uprising had also happened. And so Facebook was offering a grant, $1,500 grant for minority owned businesses. Woohoo. I applied. I got the $1,500 ad spend. It was good. No. Yeah, it was ad spend. So the grant was for $1,500 ad spend. So next thing you know, this company sends me an email and they're like, hey, congratulations on your Facebook, scholarship that you won, yada, yada. I'm like, okay, cool. They're like, we are a marketing agency. We can help you do this. We can help you do that. And I'm like, great. So, and they're from Facebook, so they got to be legit, right? Facebook sent them my way. So I'm like, this is great. So as I am speaking with them, I am already realizing I need to find a way to market this marketing. I had been avoiding marketing for a very long time. I did not quite understand it. And I was really trying to find a way to put some momentum behind my business. So there, insert this company. So this company, because they came in via referral, which is Facebook, there's a couple things I didn't realize that I know now. One thing is a lot of these companies, they're not vetting these industries. They're not making sure that they are delivering on products, that they are delivering on the services that they're supposed to. They're not doing that. Okay. So I should have done my due diligence, which I did not. I just trusted because they came through a Facebook referral. I mean, through the Meta referral, the company, right? So essentially, I worked with them for 6 months. Long story short, I lost out on $6,000. They were a marketing agency. Here was the problem. Now, I will say they were the problem, but I am a firm believer in always looking at me as the problem because that's the way I can solve it and work through it. And so when I look back in hindsight, the reason why I was a problem was because I didn't know my own marketing. I was trying to relieve myself of having to do the hard part. And I was trying to push it off on them. Here's what I didn't realize about that company. One, they did not work with med spas. They worked with people who had coaching programs. They worked with people who had a service based businesses, for example, t-shirt companies, things like that. They did not work with med spas. Why in the world would I hire a company and agree to sign a 6-month contract and they did not specialize in the industry which I was in? Big mistake. The next thing was they had this long process. Now, mind you, I signed a contract to work for 6 months with them. They had this long process that they's like, okay, it's going to take 3 months before we can, get everything up and going. That's a long time. The first month, they were just getting research from me. Now, here's where I say the problem was with me. I didn't know my market. So I am not discrediting marketing agencies as a whole. But what I am saying is, as small business owners, especially those of us who are bootstrapping our own businesses with limited resources, you should know your business and your marketing, your market so well that you can tell them exactly what to do to get your clients. And they're just pretty much putting gas behind your vision. The worst thing you can do for your business, which is what I did, and this is why I tell my anybody I work with, do not hire a marketing agency yet. Learn marketing first. I'm not saying it's not worth it to delegate it. It is. But you have to understand marketing first. And so I am responsible for that 6K loss. I got 5 leads, you guys, out of that whole campaign. 5. And those 5 didn't even call me back.
Say, leads don't mean customers.
They were the coldest, like worst leads. They were not in my market at all. It was a huge loss. And honestly, you guys, that could have cost me my business if I wasn't already working. I was still working at the time, so I did have a stable income coming in, but $6,000 is not a little bit of money. So I say, you guys, you have 2 choices. You can do hard on the front end, easy on the back end, or you can do easy on the front end, but it's going to be hard on the back end. You have to choose. Marketing is not easy, but I can tell you that it is something that you can learn. And with the tools that are out here, like AI that exists that can actually teach it to you, you should be learning it. So if you decide at some point you want to invest in a marketing agency, you are able to really delegate to them what it is that your market, you feel that your market wants and what they need to put out on your behalf as a company. What do you think about that, Chris?
Oh, that story is so sad, but so true. Because
I want to cry.
I remember when you were going through that. So definitely, the L's you took that turned into lessons.
Yes,
I was
Lord.
definitely able to benefit from that, and it's definitely true. In my experience with, marketing agency and Facebook ads like that, you're absolutely correct. Not knowing your market, and then also not having the kind of infrastructure to be able to handle leads. So what if I was getting a lot of leads and I could not handle calling all those people.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah, we got to talk about that too. That's fulfillment or like funnels. Right. Maybe we should have an episode where we're talking about once they become a lead too. So we'll have that.
Because that whole pipeline is very important as well. So there's just a lot of stuff you have to learn. But I think we both, what it's taught both of us is to really just try to do these things on our own. Learning Facebook ads, especially that we know, you connected with the lady you had at your event for Facebook, and she just said, it's so easy. They want to help you. The more money you make for yourself, the more money you make from Meta on these ads. So just knowing those things we can do ourselves. I think people are quick to just, again, want to do the easy and just say, oh, I'm going to hire an agency and spend all this money because you think you're going to make it back. And a lot of times you really don't. So I think it's important to really get deep and learn marketing yourself to, like you said, to then I can hand it off to an agency and know my ads better be performing at this. I need this cost per click, knowing what all those abbreviations mean. And that's the way you're going to get the best results out of when it comes to running ads as far as marketing.
Yes.
We need to talk about the different types of marketing. We could do another episode on that.
Oh my gosh, we could. It's so much more we could cover. Actually, I think we should have a episode on how to, because I have a strategy that a framework I created for nurses, but we'll dive into that on another episode. I think we're going to have episodes sprinkled throughout. I think the biggest takeaway though for this episode, you guys, is start your marketing early. Don't wait until you've built the business, because you may have built something that your market does not want, that does not resonate with them, that does not sell the vacation that it should be selling. And so we really truly feel like you should market before you're ready. And marketing research is a part of that marketing strategy. And just making sure that you are in it. That's the best thing you can do for your business when you're starting. I understand you want to delegate because nobody wants to be tied down and bogged down to a business, but this is the hard on the front end. That's what encompasses the hard on the front end, so you can have the easy on the back end. So you have to do the hard work. There's like there's no way around that. So any last words, Chris, before we head out? This is a great episode on marketing.
Yes.
I think we definitely have more, so we'll sprinkle it throughout. But any last words, Chris?
Just to, continue to learn, continue to see where you need, if it is marketing, then some of the books that Dr. Jones talked about in this episode, I read some of them as well. So really reading the books and, like we said last time, putting the books to use and actually applying it. So like you said, you really have to do the hard on the front end so that it's easier on the back end. But it's just something that you're not going to be able to get around. And again, if you are scared to talk about your business, then I guess it's going to take until, like many of us, there's no money coming in and you're like, you know what, I'm going to have to shed this fear. So just do it in the beginning. Start talking on camera, start talking about your business to anyone that you see and meet. And the more, like you said, the more you talk about it, it'll become easier. You'll know exactly what to say, what people hone in on, like, oh, you don't have energy? Oh, okay. And then just go in. So learning marketing is an absolute must in the beginning of starting any business.
In the beginning, do your business a favor. You guys, do your business a favor. Do that hard part first, and then also just making sure that you are speaking the language that they speak, like Crystal said. I think that's a big one, because they may not be using even the same terminology that you think they should be. So that's why it's so important to get out there, and marketing works.
Yes.
The most money goes to the business that markets the best.
Yes.
Just remember that. All right, you guys. Well, we're going to wrap this episode up. Super excited for all that's to come this year. You guys, as always, if you found value in this, make sure you, first of all, download it if you're listening to on Apple or Spotify. But also, if you're looking on YouTube, either one of those, comment. Let us know if you like the episode, what you want to hear, what other episodes or topics you would like for us to cover, and then share. Share it with your audience, y'all. Don't gatekeep. Until next time, you guys. Bye.